but I was just setting up my stuff
No
there.
problem. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Awesome. Okay, cool, guys. Well, we're going to start lying down, which is great. I can hear Fleur saying yay in the background. We're going to start lying down on our back. Okay, let's just get into position. So on your back, nice and comfy. I'd like you to start with your feet flat on the ground, if that's okay. Knees up towards the sky. And we're just going to take a moment to settle in. I want you to close your eyes. Just notice the floor behind you, beneath you. See if you can perhaps just trace the body parts that you can feel on the ground, touching the floor. Maybe starting with your toes. See if you can get the pinky toes to touch the ground. Big toes. Inside edges of your feet. Outside edges of the feet. The heels. Very nice. Next object on the ground that you should feel, part of your body, would probably be the back of your pelvis. Maybe just take a little gentle swish of the knees from side to side and notice the weight distribution change in your pelvis. As you go from left to right with the knees, you should feel weight into the left side as you go to the left, weight into the right side as you go to the right. Just noticing as you go from left to right, feel that weight change in the back of your pelvis. You're moving past your tailbone, over to one side, past your tailbone in the middle, between left and right halves. And then just slowly start to find a happy medium, so a place that's like perfectly perched on the tail. Nice and equal between left and right pelvic halves. As you think about moving up from your tail to the back of your head, if we had to look at or zoom in to the lower back, you'll have your unique posture, but there should be a little bit of a lift of the lower back away from the floor. I want you to see if you can check in with your lower back muscles and see if you can tell whether or not you're clenching or gripping into them. So maybe you can think about just really relaxing into that area of your body. Sometimes when we allow this relaxation to happen, you might notice subtle differences in the left and the right side. So maybe you'll feel, hey, my right side feels a little bit lifted compared to the other side, or maybe my left side feels a little bit lifted compared to the other side. See if you can really just make sure here again that the left and the right pelvic halves are equal. Lower back is lifted gently away from the floor and not clenching into those muscles. As you move up, you should feel your rib cage on the ground behind you. Start to think about the breath filling into the ribs. See if you can feel the back of your rib cage fill into the ground behind you on your next inhale. Think about melting into the floor a little bit deeper on your exhale. And again, fill your lungs into the ground behind you as you take your inhale. And big exhale, think about relaxing into the ground a little bit more. Let's take 2 more breaths like this, and as you breathe, really thinking about filling into the floor. As you exhale, really try and soften something in your body. Whatever comes first, soften something. Maybe it's your neck, maybe it's your shoulders. And last, kind of focused breath here. Inhaling into the back of your lungs. And exhaling, melting into the floor. Beautiful. So depending on where your hands are, I'm going to ask you to maybe just take your hands with the palms facing up and let the hands rest on the floor to the left and to the right sides of you. Once your palms are facing up, get your hands to a place where you feel like your shoulders can relax. For me, that means that my hands are quite far away from my body. Thinking about sort of concentrating on the parts of our body that are touching the ground, you should notice that your two shoulder blades are on the floor. See if you can really think about grounding and melting the shoulder blades into the ground, and reciprocally allowing the collarbones at the front of your body to get really open, broad, relaxed, and heavy. Taking our focus to the back of the neck. If you feel like the back of your neck is in any way compressed, see if you can try and tuck your chin towards your throat ever so slightly, just to get a little bit more length into the back of the neck. If that feels really uncomfortable, then maybe you need a pillow behind your head. Softening into the cheeks, into your jaw. Try and unclench your teeth if you're clenching. And rest the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Softening into your brow, the muscles between your eyes. Start to notice the breath coming in through the nose, maybe out through the nose as well. Notice the air tickling your nostrils as you take your inhale. Soften as you exhale. Soften something. Taking 8 more breaths like this together. Inhale, feel the cool breeze across the nose. On your inhale, exhale, soften something. Allowing the weight of your body to be supported by the floor. Inhale, feeling the lungs fall into the ground behind you. Feeling them expand left and right, feeling them expand towards the ceiling. And exhale. Soften. Taking 4 more breaths here. Just notice if anything in your body has started to kind of clench up. Seems like a strange thing. Maybe the back of the neck. Last 2 breaths here. Aware of the floor behind us, aware of the state of the body. And just honoring where you're at for today. Not pushing too far beyond where you feel you can go. Alright, so we're going to introduce a tiny little bit of movement. The movement is going to be at the head, so at your skull. I want you to slowly just start to roll the ball that is your skull over to the right, and roll the ball that is your skull over to the left. Keep on moving. And really the purpose of this is for you to feel the weight of this bowling ball essentially on the top of your skeleton. Just letting the weight of gravity move you from left to right. Let's go for 6 more. Maybe even feeling a little bit of a massage at the base of the skull at your occiput. Last 3. Keeping the chin relatively tucked, so we're not going to arch into the back of the neck here. The back of the neck stays long. Last 1. And then bring your gaze to center. Your chin in line with your sternum, in line with your belly button, in line with your pubic bone. Hopefully you guys know what that is. If not, please let me know. And keeping your head in that position, keep the shoulders nice and open, collarbones broad and wide, rib cage drawing down into the floor. We're going to inhale, tip the pelvis forward, arching into the lower back. Notice the back of your skull drag along the floor. And then exhale, round into the lower back. Inhale, arch, really just moving with the pace of your personal breath. Maybe your tongue is still touching the roof of your mouth. When you're inhaling and exhaling through the nose, keep on going. So that kind of style of breath, inhaling and exhaling in through the nose, is a yogic breath, ujjayi breathing. Builds quite a lot of heat into the body. It's quite a nice option to take if you want a little bit extra focus and challenge. It just gives you that sensation of making the sound of the ocean in the back of your throat if you are going for that inhale and exhale through the nose. Keep on going, pelvic tilts. 4 more. I want you to really think now as you exhale to get rid of all of this stale air on your exhalation. So inhale, I'm filling. Exhale. I'm not going to inhale again until all my exhale is out. Yeah? Last 2. Inhale, full. Exhale. Get rid of the air. Last time. Inhale, full. Exhale, get rid of the air. And then come to a neutral spine, happy medium between those 2 extremes. Take a couple seconds to just really feel out where that is for you. And then check in with your body again, guys, just to make sure that you haven't let the lower back muscles grip, like pathologically grip. Okay, so let the lower back muscles chill out. You should be neutral right now. Keeping the back of the neck long, can you take your left leg into tabletop position? So just the left leg. Pausing here for me, even that little lift of one leg, I want you to notice any changes you might feel in the rest of your body. So say for instance, you focus in on your pelvis, maybe your right bum cheek. Do you feel like your right bum cheek is lifted away from the floor? Could you press it down into the earth a little bit for me and just notice if you can feel any abdominal muscle switch on there. If not, just go ahead and think about, okay, I want my abs to support me right now. Let me get a little bit of tone, a little bit of consciousness into the abdominals. Very nice. Okay, keeping the left leg in tabletop, take an inhale. As you exhale, stretch your left leg forward, just the left leg. Inhale to bring it back in. Exhale to stretch it forward. Inhale to bring it back in. So you guys are going to keep going, and you'll probably hear I'm going for an exhale out the mouth. That's because I'm talking to you. But you could still go for the inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. If that just doesn't feel like you're getting what you want to get out from your abs, then go for the exhale out the mouth. But I want you to create a little bit of resistance with your exhale. So what I mean by that is we're not going to just all the air out in one go, but rather think about a tiny puncture in a tire. Stretching it forward on the exhale. Inhale to bring it back in. Go for 4 more. Keeping your mind really tuned into the pelvis. Don't bring your knee in so close that you round into your lower back and tip the pelvis backwards. So think about, okay, so when I bring my knee back in, I'm still keeping my pelvis steady. Last one. Reach, bring it back, and then pop that foot onto the ground. As you place your foot onto the ground, notice changes in the feeling of the back of your pelvis. Contact that you have with the ground. Let's take over to the other side. So we're going to lift right leg up off the ground. Inhale. As that right leg lifts, notice immediately as your left butt cheek lifted away from the ground. If you just roll into the right pelvic half. Press that right butt cheek down. Engage into your tummy muscles. Inhale again. And exhale, stretch the leg forward. Reaching for the wall in front of you. Inhale to bring it back. Exhale, stretch it forwards. Inhale to bring it back. I'm going to go for about 8 more. I'm quite a big fan of keeping eyes closed for this kind of stuff, just because of the body awareness, just to be able to kind of focus in on the contact that I have with the floor behind me and what's changing, what's tensing up unnecessarily. For me, it's my neck and shoulders at the front, so I want to take any tension out of the neck and shoulders at the front and take that activation to my abs. Okay, so see if you can do that with your own body. Trying to take any compensatory patterns, any clenching into your abdominals. Last 2. And last 1, stretch it forward. Good. Bring it back, put the right foot on the floor. Great job. Find your neutral spine, or at least make sure that you get straight back into neutral as soon as the right foot comes down. Okay, guys, we're going to take both legs into tabletop now, right? So one leg's going to come up, other leg's going to come up. Perfect. So quite a lot of load all of a sudden into the lower back, into the abdominals. Lower back and abs work together. That's our core function, right? See if you've tensed up into any other areas in your body, neck, shoulders, shoulder blades, middle back, and see if you can take any of that tension, use it at the abdominal area instead. Breathe into the back of your lungs. Fill the ground with breath on your inhale. Exhale, see if you can draw your navel in towards your spine. Inhale into the ground behind you. Exhale, draw the navel in towards your spine. So I want to think about the container of my abdominals drawing inwards on my exhale. I don't want to let my container just collapse and open up when I take an inhale again. I'm going to breathe into the ground behind me, so facilitating that backwards expansion of my rib cage. Using that to my advantage. Exhale, draw the belly in towards the spine. 2 more breaths like this. Inhale, fill the back, fill the sides of the lungs. Exhale, belly to spine, but try not to push your lower back into the floor. Okay, so we're neutral, but I'm drawing my belly button into my spine. Quite a nuanced little difference there. Last time, inhale. Exhale, navel to spine, keep neutral. And then let's put right foot down, left foot down, and just let your knees gently windscreen walk from side to side. Well done. So guys, we're going to work a little bit more into the core today, and that's why I want to start with this breathing and breath, because I want you to start getting this nice deep abdominal core connection feeling, which I hope is sort of starting to happen. Okay, let's find neutral again. You can do little pelvic tilts if you need it. Okay, and we're going to take one leg back into the dreaded tabletop, other leg back into the dreaded tabletop again, and just hold it there for me. Relaxing into the neck and shoulders, thinking about the container of the abdominals drawing to the floor rather than to the ceiling. Okay, inhale here. Exhale, slowly float your left foot down towards the ground. Feathers tap of the left toes to the ground, and then bring it back up again. Inhale to prepare, right leg's going to go next. Exhale the leg down. Inhale the leg up. Alternate from side to side. Leg down on the exhale. Draw your belly in. Inhale, leg comes up. So I see this on myself all the time. Like when I do ab work, and it's something that I'm really, really working on, is that when I come into a position where my leg travels forward, that's when my tummy muscles need to work the most, right? On the downward motion of the leg. I want to try and think about keeping the container of my abs drawing in on that motion, not just letting it go up towards the sky. Okay, so think about tummy muscles really staying strong as the leg travels down, navel drawing in, and then on the inhale, allow that kind of stability to remain there, using your inhale into the floor to create space for the breath to come into the body. I hope that makes sense. With all of that control, you should feel like a vibration starting to occur as the leg travels down and up. Go for 4. You can hear my breath, that vibrational quality is because I'm working so hard to keep my position. Last 2, I know I'm going really slowly, but that's how I breathe. Last time, and hug the knees into the chest. Take a little rock from side to side. Take a few sighs, take a few big inhales and exhales. Well done. All right. From here, we're going to roll ourselves up into seated with the feet flat on the ground. This stuff, I know it's not everybody's favorite, but just bear with me. And if your lower back needs a break, take it. Okay. From here, my feet are parallel hip width distance. I'm going to lengthen up through the crown of my head like somebody just tried to pull me up with a piece of string. My crown of my head's going up, but my shoulder blades are drawing down. Collarbones are open, ribs are drawing slightly down the way. I'm going to take an inhale again. As I exhale, I'm going to tuck through my tail. I'm going to rock my pelvis backwards, rolling off of my sit bones onto my sacrum. I'm not going to go too deep, so please don't go crazy low just yet, right? Right, so from here, I'm actually still holding onto my legs. It's kind of nice, so I can squeeze my shoulder blades down. And I don't know about you, but I have to really focus to make a connection with my tummy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about tipping my pubic bone back towards my face even more. You might even notice my pelvis change a little bit. So I'm going to think about tucking, really tucking. Take another big inhale. As you exhale, pull your belly in towards your spine. Nice, hold that. Squeeze the shoulder blades down. And then think about the rib cage, the front of your rib cage being pushed through your body at the front. Okay? Some people talk about like taking an ice cream scoop out of your abdominals. That's what you want to think. Draw the pubic bone to the navel a little more. Think about lengthening through the lower back a little more. Inhale again. And then exhale, slowly come back up, leading with your nose. Into a nice lengthened spine. Okay, well done. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to lengthen. So we're trying to connect to this container at our center. Exhale, round off of your sit bones onto your sacrum. You don't have to go crazy low for this. Okay? Once you find your position, pause. Take an inhale again and exhale, tuck. So round into the lower back, tip the pubic bone towards your nostrils. Yeah? Draw your navel in towards the spine. It's quite nice to do that on an exhale. So let's inhale together. Exhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine. Try and hold that. Close the rib cage down. And then maybe you can let go of your legs and hold. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. Inhale into the back of your lungs. And exhale. Slowly come up. Okay, one more time. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to hold it at the bottom, just so you know. Exhale, I'm going to let my arms go free. Come down, off of the sit bones, onto the sacrum. Don't go too crazy low. And I'm going to tuck my pubic bone towards my face. It's almost like really, really rounding into my lower back here. Okay, just make sure you're not hiking one hip up compared to the other, so knees should be perfectly parallel. Inhale here for me, and exhale, pull your belly button in towards your spine. If you're doing that and your shoulders hike up towards your ears, make a conscious effort to squeeze the elbows in towards the sides of your body, towards your waist. Alright, now teeny tiny little pulses forwards and backwards with the torso, minuscule, minute ones. As you come forward and back, draw your navel in towards the spine. Let's go for 10. Teeny tiny. 9. The rest of the world will think you're literally doing nothing, but I'm hoping you're feeling your tummy quite strongly here. 5, 4, 3, keep it tiny. 2, 1, and then articulate the way down. One vertebra at a time, all the way down. Reach your arms long overhead. Okay, inhale here. We're going to exhale, nod our chin towards our chest. Crunch it forward, reach it forward into flexion. Pause. In this moment, I can feel my tummy just going up towards the sky. So I want to draw my navel in towards my spine. Slowly bring myself up. And sit up into seated. Now, if that's too tough for you to come up, hold onto the back of your legs to pull yourself up the next time, okay? Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we're going to take it super slow through that C curve, off the sit bones, onto the sacrum. Think about your belly button drawing in. Slowly taking your way down, feeling, well, knowing that you have 5 lumbar vertebrae before you get to your rib cage. Inhale, reach the arms back. Try not to use momentum. Think about drawing your belly in. Think about really controlling this upward movement with the super strong abdominals at the front of your body. Climb up your legs if you need to. Sit up super tall. 2 more times. Inhale, soften the shoulders. So holding an imaginary beach ball with the palms facing up, collarbones broad and wide. Exhale, tuck, roll off of the sit bones onto the sacrum, keeping your knees parallel. Knees are a good marker for what's happening at the pelvis. Slowly down. Draw the navel in, draw the navel in. Inhale, reach the arms long alongside the ears. Think about the front of the rib cage piercing through your body. Draw your belly in, slowly rise up. Last time, and slowly down. And slowly up. Also on an exhale to come up. Really great job. Okay, I really hope that went well for you. So you should feel like, okay, there's something going on in the tummy. Tummy is alive, hopefully. We're going to come onto all fours from here. Right, so all fours, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath our hips. So we don't have the feedback from the floor behind us anymore, but I want you to still try and find your neutral spine. Okay, so maybe an arch and a tuck, finding your neutral. Once you've found neutral, I want you to think about tailbone lengthening towards the wall behind you, crown of your head lengthening to the wall in front of you. So there's energy kind of almost lengthening your spine in opposite directions. Okay, take an inhale. As you exhale, draw lower belly in and up. Nice, and then you're going to see if you can open right arm up towards the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, right arm comes back down to the ground. Left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, left arm down. Right arm up. Inhale. Keep right pinky toe on the ground if you can. Exhale. Down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left arm down. One more each side. Inhale, right arm up. Try not to let your booty swivel off to the right there. Exhale, right arm down. And last time, left arm up. And exhale, left arm down. Very nice. Okay, from here, we're going to stretch. Let's take right leg long back behind us first. Okay, so right leg's going to reach nice and long. Just make sure as you do that your lower back is still an arch on you. So rather think about belly to spine, lengthening through the lower back. And then you're going to lift the right leg up off of the ground. As I do this, guys, I don't want my left hip to poke out to the left. So I'm going to push my left shin through the earth so that I can lift out of my supporting hip and not kind of go all wonky. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Push the floor away. Left arm along, so it's the opposite arm to the leg that's reaching. Find your tummy muscles. Use them to keep your neutral as you bring your left hand to your right knee and reach along in opposition. So I'm going to go, my natural breath is an exhale to bring the hand into the knee, into the hand, and an inhale to reach. But you could have just as much fun. I can always hear you laughing, saying fun, yeah, but you can literally just breathe in the opposite way and get a profound effect. Last two, but I want you to think about your core stabilizing you here. How can you use your abs here to, last time, good, left hand down, right knee down, straight over to the other side, left leg long, push the floor away, nice and strong through the palms, through the hands, press down through the fingertips, let's lift the left leg up, find your tummy, right arm long, keeping neutral in the lower back, bring it in, reach it long. And I'm still trying to get my air out completely on my exhale. So don't kind of rush through. You want to almost think like and feel how that forced exhalation is going to get your abs on. Last three. Push through the supporting shoulder. Try not to let your booty pull back on you either. Shoulder stays above the wrist. 2. Stay long through the crown, long through the tail. Last one. And then right hand down, left knee down. Take a brief shell stretch. Open the knees, untuck the toes, lengthen into the lower back, pull your butt back to your heels, and then come into a shell. So just like in the beginning of class, when you're kind of checking in with the body, breathing, grounding, see if you can come back to, any feelings you might have felt then. Just really focus back in on yourself. That last little bit was a bit overwhelming. Relaxing through the jaw, the cheeks. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Right, so just so you know, we're about to come into downward facing dog position. So when you're ready, bring yourself back onto all fours. Okay, get your hands feeling nice and strong, rooting down through the index finger mounds. We're going to tuck our toes under. And then bring our booties up and back into downward facing dog. Okay, it does take a few moments just to get this position feeling, good for your body. So adjust your hands, adjust your feet. Think about fingertips being active. So I'm not just dead in my hands. My elbows are not kind of splaying left and right, but rather I want to think about the pointy bits of my elbows wrapping down towards the ground. Then I want to push the floor away a little bit more through the heels of my hands. Pushing the floor away, almost as if I'm thinking this is coming from my shoulder blades as well. So from the heels of the hands, lifting out of my shoulder blades, getting more space to the back of my heart. I'm going to let my head relax. Thinking about my brain, almost just hanging towards the floor. I'm not worried about whether or not my heels are touching the ground. I'm going to bend generously into my knees and feel all 10 toes, including pinky toes, root down into the floor. If you feel like your abs are just kind of left the party, your tummy is kind of just chilling, think about lengthening into the lower back, maybe toning a little bit through the abdominals, think about belly lifting to the sky here. My rib cage is also lifting to the sky. Might allow me to then push the floor away a little bit more. Great job, guys. So, holding here for a second longer. See if you can keep your shoulders square but reach your right leg up towards the sky. If you feel like if you've got an ankle thing going on here in the left foot, feel free to just lower the knee at any point in time, Otherwise, right leg is reaching up towards the sky. I don't want my right armpit to rotate to the right, but I'm going to square my armpits with the left and right side of my mat, the long sides of my mat. Nice. I'm going to bring my right heel towards my right glutes, and I'm going to draw 5 circles with my right knee back away. Super slow in the circles here. Find your breath again. Exhale, thinking about tummy muscle activation, belly to spine. 1, we reverse direction. 5. 4. Try to keep those shoulders steady. 3. 2. Keep your fingertips active. Elbows wrap down. Last 1. Right foot comes down. So you can go straight into the other side. Left leg up. Pause. Shoulders stay square, or at least armpits stay square with the long sides of your mat. Heel towards your bum. And let's draw that big circle. 5. Shoulders stay super strong here, guys. Lift the rib cage to the sky. Don't let the ribs collapse. Don't turn this into a back bend if you can help it. 2. 1. Let's reverse direction. 5. 4. Elbows to the ground. 3. Or at least thinking about the magnetizing down. 2. And 1. Left foot down. Let's walk our feet to the top of the mat, or at least towards our hands. Bending into your knees, take a forward fold. Release the pressure from the wrists. Let your head hang. Feel your belly rise and fall on your thighs as you breathe in and out. As you stay here in your forward fold, close your eyes. And I want you to imagine you're about to zip up a jacket. Okay? And I want you to think about that zipping up at the front of your body. Use that analogy for your roll up. Okay, so you're going to think about from my belly and even pelvic floor, I'm going to initiate my roll up like I would zip up the front line of a jacket. So slowly think about drawing navel in and up. I'm zipping up the front line of my body to come up into standing. Inhale, lengthen. Reach your arms up. Exhale, circle the arms wide out and around. Not the chin down towards your chest. We're going to go back down the way we came. Same idea. I'm going to draw my belly in, almost like I was trying to roll up and over a barbed wire fence, and I don't want to get cut by the little barbed wire. Okay, so I'm going up and over a fence. I want to lift my belly away from the little picket fence that I'm rolling over, and then I'm going to zip up the front of my body to roll up. I really hope all these analogies make sense. Inhale, reach. Arms up. Exhale, circle the arms wide out and around. Nod the chin down towards your chest. Imagine there's a little white picket fence right in front of you. I don't want my tummy to touch the fence, so I'm going to come up and over, rolling down, allowing the weight of my head and my brain to hang down, but not allowing my abdominal container to collapse. Okay, weight equal in the feet. Roll up one more time, zipping up the front line. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, circle, sweep the arms back and around. We're going to roll it down, and then we're going to step back into downward facing dog again. Good, okay, so when you're ready, and if you feel like down dog is one step too far for you, feel free to take a child's pose. Take your hands to the mat, shoulder width distance, rooting down through the fingers, and then step one foot back, step the other foot back, find your down dog. Get your elbows nicely positioned so we're not letting them splay apart, but we're thinking down towards the floor. Push the floor away. Now you might need to adjust your foot position, but give yourself enough room so that you can pivot. So both heels are going to pivot over to the left. Both heels pivot over to the left, which means my right foot can go flat onto the ground. Take a really big deep breath into the right side of your body. And then slowly pivot back through center, over to the other side. Okay, pause for at least 2 breaths on the other side, noticing obviously one side is going to get way more pressure into that wrist, so just manage that as you need to. One more breath. Pivot again. Heels to the left, right foot flat. Bend deeply into your knees. Start to bend into those knees. Just feel what that feels like as you bend into your knees, getting an extra deep stretch over the side body. Coming up through center, over to the other side again. Heels now to the right. Left foot goes flat onto the mat. Bend into your knees. Playing around with that little bend in the knees, maybe a teeny tiny slow bounce. 3, 2, let your head relax. 1, through center, knees down. Keep the toes tucked under as you walk your hands back. Obviously listen to your ankle here. So walking the hands back towards the knees. Maybe taking the weight into the feet. feeling the stretch at the base of the feet. Pausing here for a couple of breaths. If you feel like you can, take all the weights in your toes and your feet aren't absolutely dying, then perhaps take left hand to the ground, reach right arm up. Inhale. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up. 2 more times each side, left arm down, right arm up. Time's going so quick for me today, guys. And right arm down, left arm up. 1 more time each side. And left arm down, right arm up. If this is too much on the ankle, please listen to it. You can take a child's pose or anything else. Very nice. Okay, so bringing the hands back to the floor. Take a quick look at me just for a second. So I just want to show you what I want to try and get us into. So it's going to be from a downward facing dog into a very weird looking side plank. Okay, and it's mostly about balance than anything else. So I'm going to come up into a down dog, and then I'm going to do a pivot, both heels over to the left. My right foot can go flat, but I'm actually going to ask you guys to see in this moment if you can bend into both knees and actually root down through the left foot. So for me to do that, I actually have to let more weight come into my left hand and take my right hand away from the floor. Okay, my left shoulder blade, I want to scoop it down onto my back body, or at least onto my waist, and then maybe I can lift my right leg off of the ground. I'm looking at the floor. Okay, so in that left foot of mine that's on the mat, I'm trying to root down through my big toe edge. I'm bending my knee a lot. Okay, see if we can come into it together. So coming into a downward facing dog position. Feel free to pedal out the heels as needed. You can take it over to the other side. I'll do both sides at least 1 more time each, or at least twice each. Heels pivot over to the right. Okay, so left foot can go flat, which is fantastic, but maybe you can start to pivot even more, that you can get your right foot relatively flat. Now that's only going to happen if you bend into your right knee and really allow your right hip to lift you. I'm going to think about lifting through my right hip. I'm not going to sink my right butt cheek to the floor, but I want my right butt cheek to work to lift me higher away from the ground. Maybe the left fingertips can come away from the floor. Maybe the left knee can come nice and high up. Pause and hold. You should feel wobbly. Can you find your core here, guys? 3, 2, 1. Pivot back. Downward facing dog. Let's put those knees down for a second. Okay. I'm not sure how this is going for you. But if it's not happening, then just take the pivot downward facing dog and hold. Okay? I'm going to try 1 more time on each side. Okay. Here we go. Back into downward facing dog. This is the last challenge, by the way. We're going to come up, downward facing dog. False sense of security right now. Bend deeply into the knees. The first thing that's going to kind of thwart you here is a straight knee. Okay, so bend into the knees, relax into the back of the neck. Start to pivot your heels over to the left. You can even give your feet a little bit more space between one another. So heels pivot over to the left. I then want to think about bending my knees really generously. Maybe lifting my right foot off of the ground, rooting down through the big toe edge of my left foot. I want to lift up through my left glute. So I want to think about my left glute wrapping and lifting. So I'm not going to sink back into it. I want to lift out of it. Bringing my right knee up to the sky. Finding your tummy here, if you can. If this is working for you, reach your right arm up. Holding for 5, 4. There's so much going on here. 3, 2, 1. Right hand finds the mat. Pivot. Back into downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels. Breathe. 5, 4. If you need breaks, please take them. 3, 2. Find your tummy here if you can. Think navel is going to help me. Moving from your center. See if you can pivot both heels to the right. Okay, my right ankle's got way less mobility than the left. Think about using your right hip to lift out of, root down into the right foot. Big toe edge on the ground. Lift the left foot off the ground if you can. You can always keep maybe 2 or 3 fingers of the left hand on the mat here just for balance. Maybe lift it off the ground, lift that left hand off the ground if you can. For balance, looking at the floor is going to help you way more than if you try and look straight ahead. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly pivot back to downward facing dog. And let the knees come down. And we're going to lie on our back for the last few moments, just to let all of that kind of sink in. Even if it's just frustration from me trying to get you into crazy positions on a Wednesday afternoon. Okay, let's lie on our back. Alright guys, so you should feel as if your body's just done something pretty strenuous. Maybe not. Maybe that was chilled out for you, in which case, congratulations. Take a second here, again, just to root down into the floor behind you. Feel your heart pumping. Let's bring the soles of our feet together. Let the knees float out to the side, left and right. Bring the palms to the sky. We're going to go for cactus arms. My palms are going to go to the sky. My elbows are at 90 degrees and my shoulders are at 90 degrees. Heart is open. Let's take a really big deep breath into our tummy. A nice relaxing exhale. Maybe even allowing yourself to make the sigh sound. Let's take 10 breaths here together. Allowing all of the muscles that have worked so hard to just soften again and relax. Soften something. Maybe it's your neck and shoulders. Maybe it's your jaw. Last 4 breaths here together. Relaxing through the back of the neck. Last 2 breaths. And last breath. Consciously thinking about activating your inner thighs to bring your knees back up towards the sky. Maybe take a gentle windscreen wipe of the legs from side to side. Blinking, open your eyes. Hopefully feeling a little bit calmer. Taking this chilled out post-workout vibe to the rest of your day. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Take a roll up into seated. And guys, you're 100% done. That's actually really good timing. So have a really wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in, or for joining.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Did anybody get the side? Did you get it?
No.
I got it once on each side.
I was getting stitches in my hips.
When you were coming out of the side plank. So
I know when I was trying to get into it.
and then coming out.
Yeah.
I had the same in the beginning.
Alright guys.
Bye guys. Good job. Fleur, I had the exact same thing in the beginning.
Yeah.